You're listening to Mind, Body, Home with your host, Sara Ann. We are mid-January, and so I hope you're still finding some time to rest and reflect. I hope you're taking it easy on yourself. We talked last week about finding more ease, in any which way that might be speaking to you. We are sort of waiting, so to speak, in the water element. So I'm curious if anything has been coming up for you there. And just a gentle reminder that if you haven't had that spark of motivation to really get going this year, you're still good. You have time. The Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year is February 10th. And so we are still in that resting and reflecting stage. We're planting new seeds before we kick off the beginning of spring energy and the transition into that wood element. So today I want to talk about preparing our mind, body, and home for welcoming in that new energy for 2024. So for the mind, if you haven't set them yet and you still need some things to think about mental clutter, thoughts, beliefs, things that no longer are really resonating with you. How do you want to clean up that energy? For body, your body is your vehicle while you're here having your earthly experience. So just like vehicles need maintenance, so does your body. What haven't you been maintaining? What do you want to improve on? Maybe you're dealing with some physical pain. Maybe you've just been slacking on getting your annual checkups. And home, what areas of the home need a bit of tending to? What have you been putting off? What keeps calling your intention? If mind, body, home intentions aren't resonating, what about setting intentions for health, wealth, and success? I think I've also heard different variations of that affirmation of health, wealth, success, full self-expression. I've heard that also through the great Ernest Holmes, who was a religious scientist. So if you want to set intentions for health, wealth, and success, how is your health? This sort of relates back to bodies. Where has your health been suffering? Where do you want to see improvement? What are you hoping to get better at? For wealth, are you trying to generate more wealth or just have a better relationship to wealth? There's a lot of really wealthy people who don't necessarily live happy lives. Are you satisfied with what you have? Do you always feel like there's never enough? What's your relationship to money? So not only how can you set yourself up for more wealth, but maybe you just need a healthier, wealthier mindset. And success. What is your definition of success? Have you ever actually documented that? A lot of people don't. And so maybe you just need a little more clarity around that. Maybe you're already successful and you're just failing to realize it. The reflection process that I walked you through last week can be really helpful. You can reflect back on your calendar over the last year to see how you managed your time. You can reflect back to your camera roll. Just remind yourself what you've accomplished in a year. We always tend to forget that part. We always tend to forget what we've accomplished already. So getting into a habit of reflection can be really beneficial. So health, wealth, success, mind, body, home, however you want to sort of lay out a few intentions for this year, these are all great starting points. In fact, health, wealth, and success, these are three areas that a lot of people seek consultation for. They carry a lot of weight in our lives. For this year, as far as predictions go, two of those carry a lot of weight, specifically in 2024, and that's health and wealth. In addition to relationships and honoring protection, these are a few other words I keep hearing in different communities from different masters, which I'll get into in a minute. But first, I want to walk you through a few rituals or ceremonies or offerings, whatever you want to call it, to help kick off your new year intentions or even just your intention setting. All of these can be done while holding your intentions if you've already set them, or you can even use these practices to get a little bit more clarity about your goals and aspirations for the year. And we're going to use the home as sort of a playground to do that. But before I go there, I want to preface a few things regarding intention setting and then manifestation. Number one is getting clear about what it is you want, being hyper detailed about your end result. And two, not focusing on how to get there because the how isn't your job. And if you focus on that, you will be met with resistance, frustration, anxiety. So start building your trust muscle, which I believe comes from your spiritual practice or your faith. So I'm going to focus on two ideas this week. I'm going to take it slow. I want this to be easy, right? There's that word ease again. Remembering only you can choose to allow it to be easy. And also, if you're still not clear on your intentions for the new year, it's okay. Again, there's no rush. We're still in that reflective water phase. We're gaining clarity. So don't stress and give up on your year already. So, using the home to get clear, right? The first is going to be creating more space. So, number one is decluttering. So, just like reflecting back, if you're too restless to sort of sit down with pen and paper, then get moving. You can invite your inner guide on your decluttering journey. Ask that you be drawn to areas of your home that want your attention. I believe there's so much wisdom in our homes if we choose to listen. Decluttering or making more space is going to make room for anything new that you desire, new ideas to spark your creativity, a new job, a new partner, a new opportunity, a new home, right? That's mine. In our home, we still have quite a bit of boxes in the garage. And although I typically wouldn't suggest that you store boxes in your garage long term, it's sort of become my message to the universe that, hey, this is only a very temporary situation. In fact, we just this past weekend, we decluttered my son's walk-in closet in this home. He got his own bedroom, his own bathroom, and a generously sized walk-in closet. And when we moved boxes into the house, anything that had his name on it, we just stored in there. But he was really struggling to like utilize his closet for what its main purpose was a closet. He couldn't keep it clean. He didn't want to really even go in there to hang up his clothes. And it was because he had boxes piled up in there. So we got them out of there, got him some organized drawers and stuff to help better utilize his space. And now he's been actually keeping it much more organized and clean. And I mention this because there are always explanations and sometimes excuses for keeping our environments a certain way. But if it's becoming a hindrance to how you function in your space, or you might keep saying to yourself, oh, I need to tackle those shelves or that closet or that drawer, whatever, then explore options that aren't necessarily getting rid of things, moving them to another space, repurposing them, getting some sort of organization in play is going to be helpful. Decluttering doesn't always have to mean to get rid of. I just want to be clear on that. Any new opportunities you want to come your way starts by opening up the space and making room for it and inviting it in, which brings me to the front door. Number 2 on my list for preparing your home for the new year is addressing your front door. Your front door is how chi or energy enters the home. It should be clean and clear of clutter, both on the interior and exterior. Wiping down the door with a mild cleaner. You could also use some fragranced essential oils. Anything citrusy and piney are sort of my favorites. If you have a storm door, also cleaning the glass. I did this when we first moved into our home, and I'll be doing it again this week. We actually have guests leaving tomorrow. So once they're gone is when I'll be doing my New Year's reset and cleaning and preparing. Doing this, it's a way of showing your home that you care about the energy that enters your home. And especially at the beginning of the year, it's an opportunity to reset the energy of the entire home. Other ideas and options, although aren't necessary, but maybe if they resonate with you, it might feel like a good idea to do it. Get a new doormat if yours is maybe looking a bit dingy or faded. And certainly adding greenery or fresh plants or herbs near your front door can zhuzh up the space a little bit. This can be a wreath, maybe a small swag for the handle, or something potted next to the door. If you have essential light in the foyer, maybe adding some plants there too in the front entry. So we've decluttered the home or maybe a particular room or closets. We've enhanced the energy at our front door to welcome in that new, fresh energy. And next, I want you to give your home a space clearing. And I've talked about space clearing in many previous episodes. However, as I was looking back, I never did a full episode on it. And so I think I will, because there are so many ways to clear a space. But for today, I just want to include a few simple things for you to tackle. So you can use sound or smoke. If you have any bells or chimes, even just clapping your hands together works. Sound creates an immediate vibrational shift. You can choose smoke. There's many options for that. I think we're all familiar with smudge sticks such as sage, cedar, lavender. Sweetgrass is a personal favorite of mine. I love the smell of sweetgrass. But even just a simple stick of incense can be used. I know a lot of us have incense laying around and it doesn't produce as much smoke if that is a concern for you. So, how do you space clear? Well, again, I'm just going to keep it very simple. You want to first start by ensuring your own personal energy is free and clear of strong emotion or stress. And after you've picked up a little bit around the house and gave it a semi decent cleaning, I would say have your intentions prepared at this point. Whatever you highlighted as your 3 intentions from last week or during the decluttering and cleaning process, have those ready. And then you're going to simply start at your front door and just work along the perimeter, going room by room. Again, holding that intention, maybe repeating some sort of affirmation. Be mindful of addressing behind furniture or in dark corners and closets. That's where closed off, stagnant energy sort of lingers. If you have a multi-story home, you can focus just on the main living space. Or if you're getting really into this, then go for it and do a space clearing on each floor. I would start at the lower level and work your way up. And then when you're done clearing, I like to always seal my clearing with a small prayer or a mantra to sort of invoke the whole ceremony. I usually like to end right at the center of my home or room. If there are some of you just focusing on a particular room in your home, just moving to the center and sort of sealing with, again, a prayer, a mantra to invoke the space. Clearing is something to do often. Some people time it with the cycles of the moons. Some people clear their space or even their personal energy every single day. In the home, I would say at minimum, space clear at the new year, or if you're moving into a new home and or after anyone in the house has been sick or even suffered an injury. You might space clear just because you notice the energy needs clear, right? Maybe your children keep going at it, right? They keep arguing. Clear that space. Maybe you and your partner had an argument. Space clear. Use your intuition here. You know when the energy of your space feels off, and so you can space clear as often. You're not going to hurt anything, but at minimum, like I mentioned, New Year's, moving into a new home, and after an illness. Another New Year's ritual, which is very simple and ties in both number 2 and 3, is opening up the back door if you have one. If you don't, a window would also work, and allowing last year's stagnant energy to be released out of the home. And then opening the front door to welcome in new, positive, affirming energy. I think of the saying, when one door closes, AKA the back door, another door opens. And that's what doors represent in Feng Shui. They represent opportunities. So doing all of this, holding our clear intentions, creates the healthy flow for these opportunities to find us. And they come through the front. So you can do this back door, front door ritual while you're space clearing. And when you're done, open up the front door to invoke that intention. So those are just 3 simple things I want you to consider tackling before the Lunar New Year, which is February 10th. So cleaning out any spaces that are calling your attention in the home. Again, you don't have to get rid of, but maybe just move some things around. Just get the energy moving. Number 2, giving the front door and entry a good cleaning, wiping down the door, enhancing it with some fresh live plants, and then giving the whole house a space clearing and letting old energy out, allowing new energy and opportunities in. So again, we are still in the water phase. I can't help but keep bringing that to your attention because there's so much emphasis on hitting the ground running come January, and that's not necessary. Okay. Stick with the seasonal cycles. That is how you best align with nature. And so, what else is to come? Well, I've been listening to a few different predictions, and while I don't take any one in particular to heart because I think it's important we honor our own intuition. But what I do want to share with you is what has been coming up consistently across different teachers, authors, astrologists, and feng shui masters who really do amazing work in these fields. There's 4 themes for 2024 that keep popping up. And those themes are protection, health, wealth, and relationships. I talked about health and wealth in the beginning. I want to add 2 more here just to bring it to your awareness and pay attention to what comes up for you as far as those are concerned. I certainly don't have any interest in making predictions myself, but what I do want to share with you is how my intuition has sort of guided me to finding the interconnectedness between all of these themes that are being highlighted for this year. So for protection, I think about safety, looking at electrical and plumbing. Is there anywhere you've been slacking on some of this home maintenance stuff? Digitally, are you due for a security check? Maybe changing up some passwords, taking the time to do that and just clearing out some of your digital clutter. Have you been putting off any health concerns or even just checkups? For me, I'm 41 and I still have yet to get my mammogram. And although, yes, I've been busy, and I'm finding that it's never been the right time, I also know I'm making excuses and I know better. I used to do mammography. I was a radiology tech for many years in my first career. I certainly understand the importance of having it, but I've just been putting it off. So that's on my list. And that sort of segues into health. This year is to put more emphasis on better health, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Where have you been struggling? We're in a period of time, collectively speaking, where the human species is going through a huge transition and evolution. We've outgrown old ways of living, being, learning, the way we deal with emotions, healing them, our traumas. Repression and suppression, they no longer work. We've realized, I hope that most of us have realized, that these tactics are only keeping us from expansion. And there's truly something within us calling us to release and change these ways. And so, where are you still holding on to some outdated ways of thinking and behaving? And how is that affecting your health, right? That's the mind-body connection. Well, again, in this digital world, are your assets protected? Do your banking passwords need updated? Have you been staying on top of your finances? Have you been spending recklessly, or are you an oversaver? Can you find a better balance? This is the time to review your budgeting programs or implement one if you need help, or maybe you even need more support beyond that. Are you willing to invest in hiring the right person to help you in this area or any area of life? Maybe a financial coach, a fitness coach, accountability coach. There's so many coaches these days. You can certainly find the right support for you. You just have to be open and willing to receive the help. And the last theme is relationship. And I think this is on so many levels, from huge global relationships, political relationships, to the relationship with yourself and everything in between, family units, the relationship we have with our time, our careers, our employees, children, grandparents, spouses, partners. What is coming up for you as far as relationships? Are there relationships you hope to heal this year? Are there relationships you hope to let go of this year? So again, these 4 themes of protection, health, wealth, and relationships are going to be highlighted in 2024. We're also entering a new 20-year feng shui cycle that will last until 2044. And so this year in particular is a year to really focus on not just what you want for 2024, but really projecting the next 20 years. What do you want your life to reflect back to you in 20 years? How do you create the life you want while setting up your home and your environment in a way that supports you and your goals? If any of this is resonating with you, I can certainly help, right? You might be feeling, yes, I'm ready. I know exactly where I need improvement, or this is a great start, or you might be feeling overwhelmed by what I'm saying. All of those feelings are welcome, and I just want to pause and honor that. If you need help or want help getting started or getting clarity, or maybe you're clear, you just need accountability, I would love to help you. That's why I'm here. I'm here to serve, because when I help you, I also help myself stay accountable, and just helping others, it's a real ripple effect. There is a link in the show notes to schedule a clarity call with me if you're interested. This is a free, no obligation phone call to discuss what is coming up for you while you're listening to this. Or maybe you've been thinking about reaching out and just haven't done so yet. Or maybe you've already taken some action and you have some clarity around all of this. And maybe you've even started taking steps to sort of address your home for the new year. How do we keep the momentum going? I'd love to chat with you more about it. So click the link in the show notes to get started. It will take you to a contact form for a feng shui consultation on my website. And the information that is asked on that form is just a way for me to get some preliminary information about you. And next week, we're going to create intentional sacred space in our home. We're going to create a space to support you throughout the year. And I have some great ideas I want to share with you. So please be sure you're subscribed to get notified when that episode releases. It will be coming out next Tuesday. And share this episode or any episode with your friends and your family. One of my goals with the podcast is to create a community of people who are passionate about their own growth and expansion, and who want to have fun using their home as a playground for exploring these themes of life that, we all have to participate in. So let's make it fun. Lastly, be sure you're on my email list. Right now, I am sending out a newsletter twice a month, so there's no spamming, but I do have some resources that I'll be sharing in the near future that will be exclusive to my email community only. There's a link to get on my email list. And as a thank you, I'll send you a guide with some ideas for quickly uplifting the energy of your space. And that's it for this week. Until next week, please stay well. I'm sending you so much love and gratitude. Thank you so much for listening. This episode is brought to you by Jade Scott Design. Jade Scott Design houses a collection of services, products, and content that are aimed to support mind, body, and home. If you're interested in exploring your relationship to home on a deeper level, be sure to check out our interior decorating and feng shui services, along with our home decor line, Shop Elemental. All of this and information on the Mind, Body, Home podcast can be found at the link in the show notes at jadescottdesign.com.